The death of a wanderer. The last time I saw the old Argonian, I was taken by how alive he seemed, even though he was in the throes of death.
The secret,
he said,
of staying alive is not in running away, but swimming directly at danger catches it off guard.
Is that how you managed to find this claw? I asked, brandishing the small carvings as if it were a weapon. I had found it amongst his possessions, which I was helping him to divvy amongst his beneficiaries. Should it also go to your cousin, dives from below? At this, his mouth widened, exposing his fangs. If I hadn't known him as long as I had, I would think he was snarling, but I knew that to be a smile. He croaked a few times to attempt laughter, but ended up wheezing and coughing. His rancid blood sprang across the bedsheets.
Do you know what that is?
He asked between coughing fits. I've heard stories, I answered. The same as you. Looks like one of the claws for opening the ceiling doors in the ancient crypts. I've never seen one myself before.
Then you know why I only wish that thing upon a mortal enemy. Giving it to my cousin would just be encouraging him to run into those barrels and get split by a draugr blade.
So you want me to have it, then, I joked. Where did you even get this?
My kind can find things that your people assumed were gone. Drop something in the bottom of a lake, and a Nord will never see it again. Amazing what you can find along the bottoms.
He was staring at the ceiling now, but the way his fogged eyes darted around, I could tell he was seeing his memories instead of the cracked stone above us. Did you ever try to use it? I whispered to him, hoping he could hear me through his fog.
Of course!
He snapped, suddenly lucid. His eyes widened and fixed on me.
Where did you think I got this?
He barked, tearing his tunic open to show a white scar forming a large star-shaped knot in the scales beneath his right shoulder.
Blasted draugr got the drop on me. Just too many of them.
I felt awful, since I knew how much he hated talking about the battles he had been in. To him, it was enough that he had survived, and any stories would amount to boasting. We both sat quietly for several minutes, his labored breathing the only sound. He was the one to break the silence.
You know what always bothered me?
He asked.
Why they even bothered with the symbols.
The what?
The symbols, you fool. Look at the claw.
I turned it over in my hand. Sure enough, etched into the face were 3 animals, a bear, an owl, and some sort of insect. What do the symbols mean, Deerkaza?
The ceiling doors. It's not enough to just have the claw. They're made of massive stone wheels that must align with the claw's symbols before the open. It's a sort of lock, I suppose. I didn't know why they bothered with them. If you had the claw, you also had the symbols to open the door, so why?
He was broken up by a coughing fit. It was the most I had heard him speak in months, but I could tell how much of a struggle it was. I knew his mind, though, and I helped the thought along. Why even have a combination if you're going to write it on the key?
Exactly. But as I lay bleeding on that floor, I figured it out. The draugr are relentless, but far from clever. Once I was downed, they continued shuffling about. To no aim, no direction. Bumping against one another, the walls.
So
the symbols on the door weren't meant to be another lock. Just a way of ensuring the person entering was actually alive and had a functioning mind.
Then the doors
were never meant to keep people out. They were meant to keep the draugr in.
And with that, he fell back asleep. When he awoke several days later, he refused to talk about the draugr at all, and would only wince and clutch at his shoulder if I tried to bring them up.